All right, John, Steeplechase is the next event on the track. A little less than 7.5 laps around this oval. Courtney Friedrichs from New Mexico setting that collegiate and NCAA meet record here. Allie Ostrander, the defending champion, has the college best. Grayson Murphy, the senior from Utah, with the #3 time in the country this year.
Grayson Murphy ran a very good preliminary. She is at Utah. She actually ran her freshman and sophomore year at Santa Clara. So if you recognized her and she used to have a different uni on, that is why. She actually had a personal best in Thursday's prelims as well. 5 women in this field ran personal bests in the prelims on Thursday.
A year ago, she was a pretty big upset. Jill has now named her the baby-faced assassin. Sophomore from Boise State, Allie Ostrander has had to overcome the barriers of injury several times during her career.
Well, I think goals are like constantly evaluated. As I told you, I redshirted an entire season, so that definitely changed what some of my goals were. But so far this year, I've been really happy with my progression from cross country through the outdoor and the ability to train throughout the whole year. And I just hope that I'll be able to keep building on that.
I have nicknamed her the baby-faced assassin because she is pint-sized, very sweet, very soft-spoken when you see her off the track. But right now, in this steeplechase, it's like just a changing of the guards. It's a 180. She goes out there and becomes this fierce assassin, and she ran the fastest qualifying time in meet history on Thursday. She also told me she doesn't go off of splits. She does not too worried about coming through any quarters or 800s or anything in splits. She just goes off of feel.
12 finalists, as we will see in all of the roundy round races, not running lanes. 28 barriers, 7 water jumps. It will bypass the water jump the first time around. And in her preliminary race, Allie Ostrander got out there and controlled the pace right from the beginning, and it looks like she may be trying to do that again here.
She will. She does not like a slow pace. She told me the other day before her preliminary race, she said, listen, I cannot handle a slow pace. Even though I would maybe like to come through my 400s in a 76 or a 78, that feel is what I'm going off of. She is not the sit and kick, let everybody drag off of her. She will take this out quick.
She also commented after her preliminaries that she wasn't that happy with her hurdling technique, that she stutter-stepped quite a bit more than she's comfortable with, even had problems with the water jump, but she felt that was just because she's nervous. Nobody knew who she was coming in here last year. Now she's the defending champion.
That's the technical part of this race, is the hurdling. I think a lot of people look at this 3,000-meter steeplechase as just, oh, you just have to run and then just go jump something occasionally. Not true. It's a constant workload of carrying the right kind of speed in the barriers. Now, the women that are in the front, when you look at Grayson Murphy on the far right in the black and Allie in the orange, the women behind them, when they come up to that barrier, have a visual acuity. Think about hurdlers. In a 100-meter hurdle race, think about if there was somebody in front of you and you had to still hurdle. That is the vision impairment that the women in the back face coming up off of this water jump. You want to take one foot onto the barrier and then land on the other foot about 6 inches back in that water. When you start to double feet and stop, it will pull you back and you will lose speed.
So with a little bit more than 6 laps remaining, we will step aside for a moment and get you caught up on what's happening in the heptathlon. So back to the steeplechase. They've just come off the water jump and are headed down where there will be 4 laps remaining. Allie Ostrander now in the lead alone. They're going at about 9:45 pace, so slower than they did in the preliminaries. Grayson Murphy has moved back to 3rd position.
Interesting to note on Allie Ostrander, she's actually going for a 3,000 steeplechase, 5,000-meter double. No man or woman has ever achieved that at the NCAA level. The 5,000-meter is later on tonight, so she is attempting a very rare double.
That's Paige Stoner of Syracuse in 2nd place right now, right behind Ostrander.
Also to note, if she does repeat, the last person to ever repeat was Jenny Behringer back in 2008 and 2009. shows you how competitive this event has gotten over the last few years.
Well, we talked about that on Thursday, and you've got Americans going 1-2 at the World Championships. That filters down to the collegiate level and lets these ladies know, hey, they were collegiate runners at one time too, and I'm actually running faster than they did. And maybe there's a chance for me to be an international star as well.
Allie Ostrander and Paige Stoner starting to separate just a tiny bit from third place, and they're starting to pick up. They were on 9:45 pace earlier, now on 9:44 pace. This is the part of the race where that balance of strength and energy has to come in. The speed going into the barriers and the actual hurdle technique over. You want to spend the least amount of time over those barriers. And for those of you watching, those barriers don't move. I don't know if anybody saw the men's steeplechase yesterday, but Houston's athlete hit the barrier that the women are coming up on now, and it doesn't move. It's like a railroad tie getting thrown at your head, and he went straight to the ground. So hurdle technique over those barriers, critical.
So Ostrander and Stoner together, and then a gap to Charlotte Prowse of New Mexico and Canada, and then Grayson Murphy, and I've been watching them pretty closely. Grayson Murphy has had the best technique, I think, consistently over the hurdles, but she's starting to lose contact a little bit, so she needs to get back up with the leaders, and having the better technique is certainly going to help in doing that.
Charlotte Prowse in the light blue from New Mexico also was one of those 5 athletes that ran a personal best in Thursday's prelim. She was the Mountain West Conference runner-up, and it goes to the testament of how in shape these women are to be able to run a personal best in the prelims and then come back and run this hard in a finals. Even though you have a day of rest, it is a mental test as well as a physical test.
2 laps remaining, and the only thing that's changed is that Allie Ostrander and Paige Stoner have separated themselves even more from Charlotte Prowse and then the rest of the field. If anybody wants to try and mix it up and try to be in the top 3, they're going to have to make a move here pretty quickly.
Paige Stoner trying to upset Allie Ostrander. Allie Ostrander has never, get this, never lost a steeplechase competition since she has entered college. She's not ever used to not being out in front.
Looking back in the crowd, University of Kentucky's Katie Coons, who they'd be relying on for some points here in their team battle hopes, is out of the top 8. And now look at what Allie Ostrander has done. She's just put on a bit of a surge here and gotten some good separation, good 10 or 12 meters of separation now to out to 15 after that water jump. So she's got a nice lead and a good head of steam. Another 15 meters back to Charlotte Prowse in third. So Allie Ostrander looks pretty comfortably on her way to repeating as steeplechase champion. It's got to be in the back of her mind that she also has to come back and run that 5,000 meters as we come up to the bell.
5 barriers to go in this very last lap, and her hurdle technique will be pinnacle. She wants to make sure that, she told me, she said, hey, as long as my form stays tight, I can handle that last 400 meters of speed.
Stoner has really suffered from trying to stay up with Ostrander, and Prowse now has her eyes on second place. But short of a disaster over one of these 3 remaining obstacles, Allie Ostrander is going to be a repeat champion for the first time since Jenny Behringer, now Jenny Simpson, who has had a pretty good international career of her own, a world champion, an Olympic medalist, former American record holder in this event. And then Ostrander has easily a 30-meter lead, and Prowse is now making a move to take over second and does so. Last water jump for Ostrander, so only 1 obstacle left.
And that was a great navigated water jump. She stepped onto it with 1 foot, stepped right off of it, and didn't have any backwards leaning motion. She kept forward.
Good turnover for Ostrander as well. She's clear of the last barrier. She is going to repeat as champion, and now it's just a matter of how much energy can she save in the time between this finish and the beginning of the 5,000. Charlotte Prowse of New Mexico is solidly in second. She'll finish there. Paige Stoner finishing third. And from Colorado, that's Val Constein that's going to, just get bit past at the end by Claire Borchers of Michigan. But it was all Allie Ostrander from the time she took over the lead from Clayton Murphy at about the second lap, for the first repeat since 08 and 09.
9:39.28. Just about a half a second, 3/4 of a second off of her season's best, and now she has 80 minutes between now and the 5,000. I asked her if she does win, what would she do? She said, all I need to do is go get off of my legs, put them up in the air, ice them down, take a little bit of rest, and then get into my 5,000 meter race mentality. So
there it is, official. Allie Ostrander with a huge victory, very much clear, 6 seconds clear of Charlotte Prowse of New Mexico in second. Paige Stoner of Syracuse getting third, and she's going to spend a little time with John Anderson before she gets ready for that 5,000. Well, I think they're maybe going to change their mind on that. There are the results again through 8. Remember, they score through 8. No Kentucky points in this steeplechase. That is going to hurt them in their quest for a team title.